in an ideal world would like to spray again now, but the farm doesn't look nowhere near as bad and discoloured and that yellowy look. Like you can see itself feeding itself.
How long is it since you actually put any nitrogen on this paddock of liquid nitrogen?
Oh, it'll be ages.
Yeah, really?
Ages, yeah.
At this time
seriously. I reckon Jim come around here probably about, might have been 5 weeks ago, then before that it was the autumn. And we just got around a lot of these paddocks before it rained, but there was only 80% of the farm we could get on. The other 20% we've just left it and thought, well, what do? You know, we can't. We tried a paddock over the other side and we got bogged, so we just thought, we'll just leave it and tough her out and see how we go, because my aim was to try and reduce my sprays because they were 4 weeks, and I think we can get out to 6 weeks and hopefully we'll get
even further, even longer in between as you build the biology and you get the normal nutrient cycling going back in here. If the grass isn't looking unhappy and unhealthy and yellow, why spray?
Yeah, that was my argument, Elaine, when we done the pivots when we went up that hill there, Tony, that day. We had clover and ryegrass this high, and they were wondering when I was going to spray next. And I said, well,
why would you?
Why would you? And we didn't spray for 4 months up there.
Well, when you think of what compost is, it's plant material. And all that plant material has all of the balances of the nutrients in it, in the proper balances for a plant, because that's what that is, plant material. We decompose it, and all we're blowing off in that decomposition process is carbon dioxide. So we're losing carbon. That means we're concentrating all the other nutrients in that plant material, nutrients that are already in the proper balances to grow the plants. So we put that compost back out here, and it's exactly the right nutrients and exactly the right balances to feed your plant. You just have to have the biology in that compost. We need the bacteria, the fungi, the protozoa, the nematodes, the microarthropods, earthworms, mycorrhizal colonization on the roots. We need to have those organisms to make the plant unavailable forms of the nutrients back into a plant available form. Yeah. And it's the roots of the plants that feed those bacteria and fungi out here in your soil. And so all of that activity of cycling nutrients into the plant available forms happening right in the root zone of your plant. Yeah. Why would you need to put on more soluble inorganic salts? Yeah. You just harm that life when you do that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what we've seen in 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the worms, nearly a good indicator, aren't they?
Absolutely. The worms are a great indicator that you're getting that whole food web back in there. Yeah. Because if you didn't have the food web, the earthworms wouldn't be in here and surviving.
Done on, like when we get extreme wet winters like this, will it do any damage to?
Well, if we have the soil in a really good condition of health and we've got really good structure, a winter like this doesn't do anything more than wet up your whole profile. Yep. But it's when we're coming out of having done real damage to the soil, and it's not even your fault, it was somebody else who put most of this land into this condition of damage. Because it's really when we got the mechanical tractor out here and we started tilling 2 times, 10 times, 14 times through a growing season. That's where the real damage happened, long before the time you came on the scene as growers. The soil was compacted, we didn't have the life in here, so when you come out with the inorganic fertilizers and you put that inorganic fertilizer out there and wow, look at the plants grow. But the only reason that works is because you have no life in the soil. If you had the life, you'd put that inorganic fertilizer on and go, yeah, boy, that was a waste of time.